Hey YouTube, Scapegoat here, and today we're going over the new OCG Forbidden limited list after the not so great TCG one. We do have this list starting in July, and there's quite a few changes as opposed to the TCG, and that's mostly because they still have remote duels, and that was pretty successful for them, as well as they had a few unofficial duels, tournaments, and all that stuff, as well as a little more time to play under their list than we did with our pandemic going on. So let's see about this. We do have the first hit right here, Link Cross. Obviously this is probably a big hit for the TCG, however this is the OCG, and from what the top decks look like in the OCG, it doesn't look like too much of a hit. But we can get into that in a second. Link Cross is very detrimental for TCG, so that might be something to look out for on a future list. This was, I think, brought to one last format for OCG due to the shenanigans with Pot of Extravagance and all of that stuff, always getting into your Link Cross. Even if you only had 3, you'd always likely always to have one after. The next card after that, the rest all seem like pretty, normal hits and stuff like that. So, Lone Fire Blossom, obviously we have this in 3 in the TCG. Very good for all plant-based decks, Sylvans, Rika. Nothing else really popping into my head right now, but I think some combo decks abuse this card, right? Quasar and all that stuff. But obviously he's not doing too much in the TCG, so I think the OCG is just following suit. So we do have Makira the Destructor. This was recently limited on the last list due to the errata that it received. I think it's just a once per turn effect. You can activate 1 trap card, something similar to that regard. So they are putting it to 2 to try to test it out that way. That's pretty much the reasoning behind it that I see. I think it can go to 3 apparently. I mean, it's once per turn you can activate 1 trap card, and if you're activating 3, you're down 3 cards, and you can only activate 3 traps. So, if I'm remembering the effect correctly. The next one is Necroface, which is at 3 in the TCG, and it looks like they're following suit similar to Lone Fire Blossom, where they're just pumping up the number of quantity to limited to semi-limited. So, I mean, it's not really doing too much over in the TCG, right? So the only decks that were really benefiting from this are probably Metaphys and, Grand Manju. And I don't think just getting this card to a semi-limit is really going to do much. Even we have it at a 3, and it's not doing too much at all. And then another card is going from limited to semi-limited, which is kind of a concerning push, is the White Dragon Wyver Buster. Obviously this deck is used in Dragon Link or, Chaos. It's one of the better cards because you can pretty much replenish a resource when you use it as a link material and get a card back. But this is the only one that's going to 2. They're not doing Collar Serpent. So I don't know, it seems like a fine hit, right? Not rather a hit, like an unlimited, but it's going to semi-limit, so you can play 2 copies of this and 1 copy of Collar Serpent. I don't think it should matter too much in the deck. You're only going to probably get like 1 or 2 resources off of it. I don't think it's detrimental enough to like start playing Chaos Dragon again, and we also do have the errata to Red Eyes in the OCG, so that OCG is kind of, playing with that errata, making it kind of not so great to play with dragons. We'll see. Maybe they'll put Collar Serpent back to 2 and they'll have enough to go off of that. So we do see Deep Sea Diva going to 3, which is a hit that is in the OCG, the TCG. We do have 3 Diva in TCG, so it is apparent that they put it to 3 because of that. Not really doing too much. Kind of weird, right? Because TCG did it first. It looked like OCG was gonna, go to 3 Diva before us. So, Mermail's not really doing anything with 3, so you might as well just give him it. And then lastly, we do have Draconnect. This was good when we had was it Ib, the Synchro Ib. I think it might still be banned, or it's banned under our list. I don't think it's banned on their list. Oh, it is banned over here. So it's kind of redundant to have Draconnect on the list if you do have Ib banned. Obviously, you're not really abusing it too much without her. But yeah, so, and also we don't have it on the list at all, so there's kind of that reason behind it. So it kind of seemed like a lot of the hits were based on our list, and nothing's really going on in a more, I would say, simplified format, where you're not really getting too much new product at a time. We're kind of like, you know, behind in terms of product, so they can kind of look at our list, see what's going on, and kind of release cards based off of that, knowing that nothing too crazy will happen with the simplified list. But let's check the top decks in the OCG, right? Just to compare, see what decks are really gonna get hit. The only thing that's really gonna matter, I believe, right, is the Link Cross. So let's take a look. We have Infernal Knight as the kind of first place deck currently. This is from like late March to early June. Dragma invokes second. Dragma invokes Shadal. Sky Striker, Dragma Eldritch, Orcust, and then 30% other. So obviously you can tell when we get the Dragma cards in the TCG, they're kind of gonna run muck over here. As well as Infernal Knights, I'm sure they'll do just as well. So pretty much you want to start getting those Infernables, you want to start getting those Dragma, maybe the Invoked cards, Shadal cards maybe, and Eldritch cards. Obviously they all seem like the meta relevant decks to play them in. And I know you can play Dragma with the Necros cards as well, right? So maybe if you're considering that, you can try that as well. So we have the 7 Infernal Knights, which is a deck that does use Link Cross. We have Dragma Invoked, we have more Dragma with Shadal, Sky Striker, Dragma Eldritch, some Orcust in there, Cyber Dragon, Danger Dark World, Dinosaur, Buffles, Medulce, Mac Knight. So we have Orcust Machina, Zephyra, and 3 Axis Synchro. That's pretty interesting. So these are pretty much the decks that are doing well, right, for that time period. Obviously a week or two past that. And then we look at the lists, right? So obviously nothing really too much in the main deck. Look at that, Maxi chilling. Look, they have Maxi at 3 and he's opting to play 2. More so probably because it is the target with the crossout designator, but also you can still play it as well, so very cool. We do see Link Cross in the extra deck, so that is going to be gone. So the Infernal Knights are going to have to adapt to this strategy. It's also weird, they're playing Spiral Agent. Unique. But that's pretty much the only card in the deck that was like touched, right? And nothing was moved up from this deck, and the only card that was removed was Link Cross. They still have Martial Metal Marcher, they still have Needle Fiber, they still have Isolde, they still have Auroradon. They still have all these type of combo cards to utilize, so it's going to be very hard to kill combo, I think. We were thinking about purely just Needle Fiber, right? But we still have all of these other combo cards to go off of. So. Then we look at decks like Dragma, and this is like the scary part, right? Because they don't use Link Cross. And they still have all of their like cards that gain them resources, and they still have their engine invoked, right? The 3 Field Spell, the 3 Alistair, and the Mechabas. And they're playing cards like Tactical Talents, Desires, and all of these cards that just gain you pluses, as well as Solemn Judgment, Infinite Impermanence to you know, negate some cards, Ash Blossom, and then Maxi at 3. Oh man, that's gonna be quite a terror when it comes to the TCG. It's a very consistent deck, so I think this will actually be the deck that's in first place and not Infernal Knight. But we'll just have to see on release. And then we go to Shadal, right? Shadal's still a pretty good deck. They are running multiple engines here. We have 1 copy of Eldritch, right? Which is technically an engine, just to get him on board. The Invoked engine, the Shadal engine, the Dragma engine. There's quite a few engines, and then they're checking the Gammas as well. But they do not use Link Cross, right? So Dragma is still going to be the best deck over there for quite a while. I think they're on month, I want to say, I think this is like the full format they've had Dragma. So they're still running with it, no hits to it. Then we have Striker. Striker in this OCG format does not play Link Cross. They do play Needle Fiber. as their one card to pop into a combo, and then get Saline to go into access code Talker, right? So that's their little combo. You go into Needle Fiber, you summon the Veiler, you go into Saline, you summon a spellcaster in your graveyard, it's going to be Veiler because you play so many spell cards, and then you can go to Access Code Talker. This deck plays so many links with different attributes that you can banish them all to your board, and you have a 5300 attacking Access Code Talker. So pretty detrimental strategy for Striker. They don't play Link Cross. This deck was not affected by the list, so this deck will still be popping around in the OCG, I presume. And Eldritch, you'd think Eldritch does play Link Cross, but it does not. So that is also a concerning thing because they're being mixed with Dragma. They play a little mini Dragma engine, right? The Maxis, 2 of them, right? It's at 3, they're playing 2. And all their Eldritch cards, some Dragma cards, and then all the traps. And they do have 3 Skill Drain, an Imperial Order, and a Vanity's Emptiness. But we do not have Vanity, we have 1 Skill Drain, and we have 1 Imperial Order. So it's less of a concern that they play it that way, but it's still concerning that you can mix it with Dragma and make a really consistent deck. Like I said, they do not play Link Cross like we do, and their strategy is a little bit different than ours. However, they are very consistent. That's pretty much it, right? So that's all for the OCG overview and the ban list. Let me know if you guys like this video. I do like reviewing the OCG, kind of figuring out what's going to be good in the TCG, kind of giving my input, and they do give you blurbs. This is Road of the King. They give you little blurbs too of how to play the decks and what combos they're currently using, what techs they're currently using, all that stuff. They let you know what place the reference deck came in and how they did at the tournament. So it is a very good resource for deck ideas or meta input for the following format for us. It's a very good resource. So let me know what you guys think. Be sure to comment below what you guys think about the ban list, what kind of changes you think will be over here, if you think we're going to get Collar Serpent back, Wyvern Buster, or even Link Cross on the ban list. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it and hope you guys have a nice day.